we're here to talk about a few different things, right? The first and foremost, you can see the NFTD shirts, sweatshirt,
and hoodie.
What's NFTD?
Yeah, I mean, well, but I know for everyone else watching, NFTD, Non-Fungible Tower Defense, is the name of the game. It's a game that actually started way back, probably like I'd say a year and a half ago. I believe there was like a Gala channel, and you had posted a message about these old Fortitude NFTs, saying, hey, look at these Fortitude NFTs. Is there going to be a game that we can play on this?
I wish I could use these.
And then I had previously made some prototype games, and then I think I DM'd you, or I publicly posted somewhere.
No, you DM'd me. You're like, hey, bro, I already have a game built.
It's a little tower defense game. It's more of like a tower base builder defender. I said, it's got some crappy graphics, but it's something. Hey, what if we added some Web3 to this?
Yeah.
And that was kind of the catalyst that really started the project, and actually brought me closer to you and to the people you brought around you, which Tim and Drew have been just awesome to build this project with. So we got involved. Tim and Drew got involved with some of the art, add some assets. We basically started working on the game ourselves, just organically, just when we have time to build it. And then there was a Gala Hackathon that happened.
Yeah, so you guys are what, award-winning game developers now?
Yes.
So the hackathon came through. You guys were...
I went there, we presented, and it was awesome. The team worked so well together, just three of us, just great little trifecta.
What was your favorite part about the hackathon?
Besides winning, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Honestly, day one, Mark Staggs came over, and he previously, before Gala, he's the COO, I think, of Gala. Before that, he worked on one of my favorite projects, which is Red Alert 2.
Oh, yeah.
And so he came over and got to play our game. So it was I think there's a photo of it, and I was just sitting back, just watching this man play our game. I was like, he's a legend in gaming, and he's now making this, telling us how we could make improvements. Here's what's working, here's what's not working. And I was like, this is super cool. That's a cool moment. Hero report.
That was super cool when you showed me that. I was like, oh, that's great. So let me ask you a question. You kept talking about art, right? You kept calling it crappy art. You should say crappy art.
I mean, when I'm saying crappy art, I mean the art before Tim and Drew got involved. So I'm talking my original art was crappy. Theirs was cool and a cool retro look, and there's a lot of effort to it. And it worked really well. It created that isometric view, which really is the foothold for the entire game. And then the Mirandis art team got involved. I think Manny hooked us up with all the people. There's 4 or 5 different artists. And really, they're part of the team. They just it was kismet. They just got in. They knew exactly what we wanted to get done. They were just whipping out different mock-ups for towers, for environment, full levels. Just the vision that Tim wanted to create, they were able to immediately just make it happen, make it real on paper. So it was just such a great moment to have that work. And then I didn't even realize, so Ryan's one of the guys, one of the artists, one of the concept artists, and then he just had a lot of experience before building tower defense games before Mirandis. So that was great because we could just cut through all the learning we'd have to do to figure out how things should be shaped, what's the positioning, what's the camera angles that have to happen. And he was like, here's exactly what you need to do. It's 61 degree angle for towers. We're going to do a concept in 2D. It goes for 3D render. 3D render gets basically snapshotted 8 different directions to get all the angles, and then you're good, and then you have the working assets.
I love it.
And now we have a pipeline. All that would have never happened without. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
It has not been.
And it's the transition of the art is incredible. It's
next level.
And then just the stuff that keeps coming. It's going to be really cool. So
I mean, it's hard to keep scope of the project small when just the vision is growing and growing and growing. Ships, let's do that. These towers with mirrors that you can then see through into a different world. Okay, whoa, that's going to be some crazy programming.
That's good stuff.
It's cool. It's a lot of fun.
What is decentralization to you? What does that mean to you?
Yeah. Ultimately, freedom. It's the freedom to take your assets that you have purchased and own them and bring them wherever you want to go with them. Yeah. So they're in your wallet. You can play one game with them, ideally take them to a different game. And that's what we're sold on. The vision of Web3 was they're your assets. You have a sword in this one game, bring it to a different game, use it there. But for that to happen, you have to have people who build these projects actually embrace that interoperability. And that we haven't seen that actually happen in anyone's project. Yeah. So when we started talking, that was the main thing. It was we actually want to build Web3 the way Web3 was sold to us. So this is a world, it's our world. We can shape it how we want. So let's take our own projects, take these other companies, I don't want to say failed assets, but just NFTs that never saw their true potential. So take those NFTs, put them into a game, our game and let people actually use them because they never had that chance. And then if they want to take them to a different game, we're building this whole Hopia-based ecosystem where all of our games will support all of the NFTs. So you buy one for one game, it's going to be used in 3 or 4 games that we build afterwards. So full interoperability. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, and it's the ability to decentralize something like in that sense and have that ownership really be your wallet. You decide where that's at. Yeah. Kind of with my company NerdNode, we're developing the DeEEP Network.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of brought us to this point where NFTD can actually be a game that is on a node.
Exactly.
Network.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that's when we see advancement in the technologies that we have and where we want it to be. NFTD was a great example of building, from the community and building it from the ground up. Yeah. And then the DeEEP relationship with the DeEEP nodes, that out there. And
this is going to be critical for us. Yeah. NFTD, when we built the game, we knew it's going to be a game that's going to have to live on servers because you have to have a person to be able to access it on the internet. And then we have to make sure all the transactions happen in a secure way so that when you're doing earnings, it's authenticated. So it's like the real earnings and everything that the person did wasn't hacked. It was fully, so we need client server architecture, has to happen. But we don't need to, in the modern era, we don't need to host that all on Amazon or on some third-party system and just to pay them all the money. We can fully decentralize and let the people run the game themselves. So people who want to play the game, they can also run their own little nodes and then have this node power that game. And that's kind of why the partnership with NerdNode and with DeEEP Network is exactly this. Yeah. It gives us that freedom, and we don't fully know how to build that infrastructure. I can build the little servers, but then what's great is the partnership with DeEEP is that they can take that from there and actually help us fully decentralize everything. Yeah. The server stack, the database, the IPFS or the client-server relationship.
Well, it brings up, I think, one of the biggest things that a lot of people talk about is legacy gaming. Yes. Right? We're actually going to have the ability for legacy gaming. Yeah. Explain to people what that means to you.
Yeah. And this is also one of the passions, my secret passions is there's so many great games that have come and gone, especially once games you got on CD-ROMs. I still have Red Alert because it was on a CD-ROM. I don't have a computer.
I don't think I've heard that word in I don't know how many years. CD-ROM.
CD-ROMs. Yeah. A drive, an A or B, a floppy disk. That's how I played. One of my first games was what's it called? It was called King's Quest. It was a Sierra Games, so made on the West Coast, and it came on a floppy disk, 4 or 5 floppy disks. You put them in, it's a closable thing. Reads. Yeah. And what's great is that you owned it. So then, if you had a computer that could run that, you could play that at any point in time, and I can still play it today if I have the right computer infrastructure. Right.
Right.
Now, all the games have gone server side, where if the server shuts down, you can't play the game anymore. It's gone. Fortnite's there because Epic run the servers.
Yeah, man.
Epic shut those servers off. Fortnite's gone.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love it.
It's the future.
So what kind of future plans? And when you think of NFTD, Hopia, we'll call it the Hopia ecosystem. NFTD is a game, but there's a Hopia ecosystem. Kind of give me a rundown of what that looks like.
Yeah. So NFTD is probably our first foray into the Hopia ecosystem, which definitely is broader than the game itself. NFTD is the tower defense game, leaderboard driven, so people will compete against each other in a leaderboard style ranking system. So we're going to have the tower defense assets, which are put into this game in your tower base building game. Then you also build these troops. So building troops means you're going to build some land troops, you're going to build some space troops. So the land troop, those characters are going to be repurposed into another game, which is more of a battle royale style game called Legends of Gloria. And that is going to be a small 12-person game, fight to the death style and win Hopia in that ecosystem. And then because we have ships, there's open opportunity to add a ship-based, laser-based game. So you buy it for one, you have it for all.
Different earning aspects within each game, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Hopia is the game token across all of the ecosystems, and there's definitely pools for each one, and each day you'll earn based on how you're doing. So there's definitely a competitive aspect of it to make sure we're only giving Hopia to the people who are winning and playing the game the most. But you'll be able to get these NFTs, which will give you a more advantage on certain parts. So NFTD having the base, having the Fortress NFT will give you more chance to mine resources. Take that into something like the Battle Royale game, and then it just gives you more perks for your character to have stronger weapons.
Yeah. So
huge ecosystem, such potential, lots to build.
Man, I really appreciate you coming in here. Where do people find you?
Yeah, I mean, on all the socials,
just you.
Me alone, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm on Discord a lot, Cryptogram on Discord, and on the Twitter or X.
Your Cryptogram on there too?
Cryptogram YT on Twitter specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't really use Twitter that much, so stick to Discord. But
we'll put all the links to Graham and NFTD and DeEEP Network. They'll all be in somewhere. Manny will put them.
Love it.
Around.
So Manny's got it. He'll take care of us all. I love it.
Thanks, man.
That's good. Cool.
Good
Thank you.
Take care
as well.